Welcome to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. Get ready to be inspired, uplifted, and connected to the miraculous energy of unconditional love that I call Mother Mary. If you're a highly sensitive, highly creative entrepreneur or light worker, and you want to magnify your impact and your intuition, you are in the right place. I'm your host, Reverend Frances Faden, interfaith minister, intuitive coach, and author of Meditation is Friendship with God. I can't wait to share miraculous stories, books, meditations, messages, and interviews with other miraculous light workers just like you. Are you ready to magnify your miracles? What are we waiting for? Let's get started. Hello, my miraculous friend, and welcome to another episode of the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. This is Reverend Frances Faden, and I'm so grateful that I get to spend this time with you today talking about a truly miraculous book and a truly miraculous topic, Sacred Oils, Working with 20 Precious Oils to Heal Spirit and Soul by Felicity Warner. This book is amazing, and I'm going to be talking to you about how it's impacted me, how you can start working with it. And I'm even more excited to share with you that in next week's episode, I'm going to be interviewing Felicity, and we're going to go into much more depth about how you can work with her and more information about her journey and about these incredible oils and how they can assist you in whatever it is that you might be needing. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a few deep breaths together just to get ourselves grounded and centered on this, for this call, for this time together. Breathing in the energy of expansion, breathing out anything that you no longer need. And as you become more present in this moment, just thinking about the inspiration, the guidance that you might be needing today, whatever it is that you might be needing, just allow yourself to imagine that you have already received it. You're feeling inspired, you're feeling guided and directed, you're feeling connected, whatever it might be. And just let the gratitude of that feeling wash over you, knowing that that's exactly what's going to be happening for you today. We'll take one more deep breath together in gratitude, and then we can begin. So, my friend, have you ever come across a book that just kind of blew your mind? A book that acts as a catalyst for you, that maybe opens up different parts of yourself that you didn't know were there, different parts of your awareness, and maybe answered questions that you didn't even know that you had. That's what this book really has done for me and continues to do for me. I came across this book probably about 9 months ago, and I knew when I looked at it and I read it, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to talk to the author of this book. And I tried back then, and Felicity had some things going on, and then my schedule, we were going back and forth, and finally I'm going to be able to talk with her next week, and I'm so excited about it. But I wanted to give you some time to get to know this book so that when we talk to her next week, it's going to make even more sense to you. This book, Sacred Oils, you might be thinking, well, oils, she must be talking about essential oils, and I know about that. I have some lavender that I use to help me relax, and I have some, tea tree oil, or, whatever you have. Essential oils have definitely come to the forefront, I would say, in the last 20 years or so. They've always been around, but they've become more in people's awareness, I guess I could say, in the last 20 years or so, through really good marketing. And I've always been drawn to essential oils. I love them. My sense of smell is very, very heightened, and I love essential oils. But whenever I would work with somebody who was an aromatherapist or something like that, I always appreciated it, and I always felt a little bit better, and I like the smell. But I always was kind of scratching my head like, there's something here. Like, what is it that's here that people aren't talking about? This is more than perfume. There's something else that's here. And I could never put my finger on it. And I just kind of gave up and thought, well, I guess whatever that mystery is not for me to find out. And then I come across this book. And And this book is talking about essential oils, not from a perfume point of view, not even just from a let me spray a little bit on my pillow at night and let me sleep kind of point of view. This book is talking about deep transformation. It's talking about mysticism. It's talking about oils as entities that can assist you, that can be teachers and guides. The woman that wrote this book is of a tradition, it is of the tradition of Mary Magdalene. They're called Myrrhophores. These are the mistresses of the oils, the women who minister with the myrrh oil. That's what myrrhophore means. And the very power of that. And we know from the Bible the story of Jesus being anointed. We know the story of the Magi coming and bringing the frankincense and the myrrh. And so we know that this is an ancient oil and that it's very powerful. And even in these stories, we're like, huh, like, have you ever wondered, like, gee, when the Magi came, they brought gold. I get that. They brought frankincense and myrrh. Like, of all the things they could bring, why would they bring these things? And people have said in the past that, like, oh, well, these were precious commodities, so it was equal to gold. So it was just like different forms of wealth. I'm like, oh, no, there's something else much, much different than that that's going on. So I'm going to read to you from this book because Felicity says in this book, and she trains people how to do this. She trains people how to work with the oils. She trains people in what she calls being a soul midwife, people who help other people transition out of this lifetime and into the next, to be able to do it in a way that feels not only with dignity, but also in a very powerful and peaceful way. And I know from my own studies and my own tradition that the state of mind that you're in when you leave your body, when you leave this world, makes a really big impact on your experience on the other side. We don't talk very much about this. But if you're in a very fearful state on this side, you're more likely to experience something fearful and scary on the other side. If you're in a very beautiful, peaceful, calm place when you're leaving your body, you're more likely to experience a beautiful, peaceful, calm energy on the other side as well. So let me read to you from this book, page number 10. First of all, she says why she's writing this book. Now, we're going to get into her story next week, but this is why she's written about this book. She says, information on working with the sacred oils is hard to find, and very little is written down. And I have found that to be absolutely true. She says, this is because the teaching is part of an oral tradition passed down from mistress or master to student. So why am I writing a book without betraying this secret tradition? The oils themselves had decreed that the time is right because they're here to be of greater benefit to humanity. Many of their teachings are ready to be shared in order to help expand global consciousness. They know that their gentle but potent healing is needed in these challenging times. For the past few years, I've been working with the oils in my soul midwifery work, teaching other soul midwives and healers about how these extraordinary oils can transform all journeys in life, not just at the end of life. New oils are being channeled to help planet Earth as she shifts and increases her own vibration. Pure vials of base oil are being filled with new and vibrant energies, and the reasons for this are quietly being revealed. The depth of these teachings is still being taught to me as I commit myself deeper into service of the lineage. I take a daily vow to hold these teachings in my heart. In addition, I promise to learn, contemplate, and protect this knowledge in order to share it with those who both honor the teachings and use them for the highest good. I hope that everyone reading this book will feel inspired to work with the oils, opening their spirits and souls to the extraordinary wisdom that the oils possess. And then she goes on to talk about what is a mirophore. And many of you, my friends, might be drawn to this as I was. I was reading this and I was like, oh, this sounds like me. She says the mirophore tradition grew from celestial medicine that was practiced in the temples of ancient Egypt. This is on page 14. Celestial medicine was based on the ritualistic relationship between planetary agreements, known as the law of similar, and the signatures of body constitution, ailment, and the remedies that would heal them. It was a complex but powerful form of healing. Mirophores, also known as myrrh bearers or mistresses of the oils, were priestesses skilled in helping people who were approaching death. They also gave healing when necessary. Their primary healing work was to realign people with their true soul essence and to heal the wounds in the soul caused by events not only in this life but in previous lives. As their name implies, they used oils to do this. These women were the daughters of priestesses, so they were part of a sacred lineage. Their temple training began when they reached puberty, at which point they were taught to work with energy through a series of initiations in alchemy, energy, and death and dying or transition work. In order to ensure that the heart of the mysteries was both maintained and in safe hands, the faith, devotion, and integrity of the Myrrhophores were constantly being tested. The most famous one was Mary Magdalene, and the Bible contains many instances of both her work and that of her sister Myrrhophores, especially during the crucifixion. And now she says on page 15, modern attributes. Myrrhophores are still healer priestesses in one form or another and are well practiced in energy medicine. They use their inner vision, the eye of the spirit, to read energy fields as well as to assess the core energetic system of their clients so as to heal and make whole spirit and soul. One of the first lessons that a Myrrhophore has to learn is to access the new NOUS, which is the wisdom of the heart and soul. It is the basis of everything we learn and understand in working with the soul. It's the divine intelligence that lives within us and is channeled from God. The Greek call this metis, M-E-T-I-S, an intuitive intelligence that's often attributed to women. Sacred oils connect us to the energy of the divine. So I'm going to read a little bit more about what makes these oils different. She goes on to talk about how these oils have been used in Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine in ancient times. She talks about the modern essential oils as aromatherapy. And then this is what I'd like to tell you. She says that modern aromatherapy, this is on page 20, modern aromatherapy differs from sacred oils. She says just about the only thing that links modern aromatherapy with the practice of working with sacred oils is that they both use essential oils. Otherwise, they have almost nothing in common. Makes me laugh. Modern aromatherapy is largely a smell sensory experience in which the aromatherapist chooses oils for their relaxing qualities. The smell of the oils stimulates the olfactory nerves in the nose. In turn, it'll calm the limbic system, bringing a sense of pleasure, release, and relaxation. And then on page 21, she says the practice of sacred oils is very different. Its roots are based in the ancient shamanic magic and ritual practice, enabling us to contact our guides or power animals. The smell of the oil being used isn't important or valuable in the treatments. It's the oil's spiritual and esoteric qualities that are important. Myrrhophores do not use sacred oils for massage. Modern aromatherapy oils are rather like opening a simple ready-mix watercolor paintbrush and painting a beautiful picture. Sacred oils, by comparison, are like painting a religious icon using ground pigments made from precious stones and minerals, blending them with egg yolk and gold leaf, and to create a spiritual picture that will last for hundreds of years. In summary, sacred oils are used in the following ways: for meditation, healing of soul wounds, expanding and scanning the energy field, cleansing the aura, anointing, ritual, opening the third eye, psychopomp work, which is those who help other people cross over, accessing past life information, creating sacred space, and for vision and prophecy. And why some oils are sacred. She said, although nearly all oils have some therapeutic value, only those that resonate energetically with the spirit and soul are deemed sacred. So she goes into saying that oil is used for coronation, for when the king or queen is being crowned. And then chapter 4, she goes into how to start working with them. She has guided meditations. There's something called a teacher oil. A teacher oil is the one that can guide you in your use of the oils. So she teaches you how to call in a teacher. And then she goes into these ways that you can use the oils, key techniques and practices. Now, one of the things that's really cool about this book is she's got what she calls these mandalas. I would call this sacred geometry personally, or if you've ever seen the pictures of the water droplets that have been frozen and there's like a word or something, a vibrational word attached to them, they take on a specific shape or form. She's got these pictures of these beautiful, she calls them mandalas, but they look like sacred geometry to me, of the oils, these beautiful, beautiful shapes. And you can use these visuals to also connect in with the energy of the oils. One of the first oils I'm going to share with you is called Angelica. Now, she is listed as a master teacher. And I think all of us that listen to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast and all of us who are on the path of miracles are going to be very drawn to Angelica specifically because it's connected with Archangel Michael. It helps us move into a higher consciousness. It opens our hearts. It protects us from negative energy and emotions. And it has an affinity with the heart chakra. And then she takes you through what you can do, especially if you're a healer and you're working with a lot of people, how this can protect your energy. That's a really powerful one. So she goes through all these different ones. There's 20 of them. Another one is called Fregonia. Fregonia helps people that are going through transitions. So these are some of the questions I'm going to be asking her next week when we talk with her. And then I'm just going through the end of the book here. She talks about Rose and how powerful Rose is. Of course, it's connected with the Divine Mother. And then there's sandalwood, which is so helpful for meditation. And here we are, spikenard. So spikenard is the one that Mary Magdalene took. And indeed, it has a quote here. Then Mary took a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Jesus. Spikenard is a very ancient and powerful oil. This is page 219, with a long lineage that connects it with ancient Egypt and the Babylonian temple traditions. Later, the Essene and the Cathar communities also worked with it for holy and healing purposes. So you can just read about these and go through these. Every chapter and every oil has a guided meditation in it. So you could record this guided meditation and take yourself through it. Just amazing, amazing things in here. So if you're somebody who is at all drawn to healing, if you're drawn to sacred oils, if you're drawn to multidimensional and ancient Egypt, multidimensional healing in ancient Egypt, you have to get this book. You have to read this book. And then you have to start really working with them. One of the things she recommends in here is you get the highest quality essential oil that you can get. She has a list in the back of resources that she recommends. She says definitely get organic and wildcrafted if you can. And one of the things she says is if you've had an experience with working with an essential oil that wasn't as great, it could be because the quality of the oil wasn't that great. So you want to get the best quality that you can. I will also share with you that if you go to her website, you will find that she does have some online courses that you can take. And I believe she's going to be doing some live teachings, live meaning not just on demand, but actually with her coming in October. We'll find out more about that next week when I interview her. We'll find out how exactly, if you wanted to be doing this work, if you wanted to find out more about the oils, how can you go even deeper into this powerful ancient tradition? So grateful. So this book, my friend, is an example of answering a question you didn't even know that you had. I had been longing for something that was going to help me understand some of this stuff, and I forgot about it. Totally forgot about it until it showed up in my on my Amazon page about 9 months ago in January, I think it was. And interestingly enough, it was right before everything started happening with the pandemic, and these oils made themselves known to me. So there's definitely something to their wisdom and their ability to connect with us. I've just begun myself starting to work with the oils and start to understand how they work, and I will continue to share my process with you. And I'd love to hear about anything that you've learned about working with oils, any miracles that you've seen from working with them, any connection that you might have with Mary Magdalene and the energy of working with the sacred oils in the Bible, anything that you could share. I would love to hear. Please feel free to leave a comment and let me know. I love hearing from you and what your experience is. And as always, my friends, we always want to end remembering this very sacred truth that the key to magnifying your miracles is to remember that your miracle is already here. All we need to do is expand our awareness. Thank you so much, my friends, and we'll see you next week for this fabulous interview with Felicity Warner. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Magnify Your Miracles podcast. I'm so grateful to be able to spend this time with you. If you want even more inspiration, feel free to visit my website, francisfaden.com or magnifyyourmiracles.com. And if you did enjoy this episode, I would really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever it is that you connect with awesome podcasts. Remember, the key to magnifying your miracles is remembering that your miracle is already here.